Jen doesn't generally like to talk about Jimmy Boy.
No, I don't.
We'll talk about him for a minute because he did have on Dr. Cornel West this evening for an interview. Haven't watched all of it, but I did see a very important clip, which the discussion was about class versus race. And so from Jimmy's perspective, he really is of this notion that you have to just not talk about race or any social issues whatsoever. Everything must be devoted to class. Now, on the one hand, I do agree that the class war is the lead. It is without question the lead. But what Dr. Cornel West said very eloquently is this is where we have a fundamental disagreement because I believe that class and race are very much intersected. And so while this conversation is happening, you could just see the rolling of the eyes, if you will, from Jimmy, basically acting like this is incorrect. I know better than you.
That's just some over woke stuff, right?
Yes, very much so. And
yeah,
it to me, I am.
It all matters. But see, this is what's so. Why does everything have to be like an either or a hierarchy? Like it doesn't make sense to me. It all matters, and they are interconnected. And maybe like at one point in the beginning of, I don't even know which century, where class was the issue and race wasn't the issue, that might have been the case. And then now race is an issue. It was made an issue to participate in the Capitol and the class war and all of that, but now it's an issue.
Not only that,
it's an issue.
But the race issue is interlocked with the class issue because they use race as a means to distract you from the class issue.
Yeah.
There's this great meme of Rupert Murdoch sitting at a table with an urban black man and a rural white man. And he's basically sitting on a pile of cookies. The black man doesn't have a cookie, and the white man doesn't have a cookie. So what Rupert says to the white rural guy is, be careful, that black guy's going to take your cookie. Right. It's like, that's the distraction. And that's how the race war is effectively intersected and connected to the class war.
You don't like my music, says, I wouldn't expect Dore to like Dr. West. Well, what's interesting is that he was all about him when he was running with the People's Party in the very beginning.
Very much.
So I'm actually, I don't know what happened. Like, I don't watch that show, but, I'm at least glad to see that he was able to step out of ego for a few minutes and host Dr. West on his show, even though I'm sure there was a little bit of like a, tinge of annoyance about the whole People's Party thing. But, maybe he's developed a little, or maybe it was just for clicks. Who the hell knows?
The problem, of course, is that there's a big ego drive that comes in. Jimmy has good ideas, but a lot of people have good ideas. And the problem, of course, with having a very large platform is that you're also faced with this situation that the bigger a platform gets for somebody, even if they know the score, they know what's going on, they'll have a propensity to say, well, since I know the score and I know what's going on, my opinion matters more than other people's. And that's where it drifts into this area of, I know better than you, Dr. West. I understand you've been an intellectual thought leader for the past 50 years, something in that range.
I mean, yeah.
But I know more than you. That's how Jimmy comes on. And that's the problem. Jimmy is not about making friends and influencing people. Jimmy's about Jimmy. And that works for a lot of people because there are a lot of topics that Jimmy talks about where he's correct. But you know what? It's also very polarizing because he's not willing to see it from Dr. West's perspective. And then it seeps into that unfortunate circumstance of an older white man who can't see it from the perspective of an older black man.
I wonder if this would be his perspective if Cornel West was still running with the People's Party.
I would agree with that 100%. And I do think that there is a
Jimmy's
tinge
perspective would be different.
Oh, I do think there's absolutely a tinge of resentment. There's no question that exists there.
Yeah. And you know what? Whatever. I mean, I really am not that interested.
What I'm interested in is Dr. West formulating some type of a
Ground game.
Anything that is going to force the hand of the Democratic Party establishment.
I've reached out to help. Nobody responds.
I'm also curious to see if actual pressure can work, because you're going to have to find the details on it and see just how true it is. Because remember, you can't read the highlights. The highlights will say one thing and then something else is happening behind the scenes. But evidently the pressure, supposedly, that was put on by Elise Joshi and people who are affiliated with Gen Z for Change, the Sunrise Movement, have put out headline insinuating that the Biden administration has 86 about 8 drilling projects in the Alaskan wildlife refuge. If that is true, that's good. But is that just 8 drilling permits of 150?
Right. If it's in proportionate to other things, like how he does everything else, it's not enough.
Like, that's what we need to know. It's great that they're 86ing 8 drilling projects. Do you know how many drilling projects are going on at any
Right,
one
or there
time?
were like 1,000.
That's the problem.
Right. We
You
don't know.
either are just 86ing the I'm forgetting the name of it right now, the one that's in Alaska.
The Willow?
The Willow Project. If you're not 86ing the Willow Project, then I don't want to know that you're 86ing 8 drilling permits.
It could be 8 defunct permits. Like,
Yeah.
the way that that's written, they will pull facts that are facts and just take them out of context, or take them so it's just not relative to anything else. So it seems really good. What I know about this administration is, for every little bit of praise that some sort of sycophant gives them, it's sort of in response to something where they fell woefully short and did like the bare minimum, if anything. And so it's just sell that somewhere else.
Yeah.
Sell it somewhere else.
Yeah. And this also gets back to the whole issue that we are seeing right now when it comes to any type of solidarity, unification on the left, or even just populism in general. We get so caught up in this silly minutia about, well, this person said this or that person said that, and well, how come you're not listening to me? And then it becomes, well, if you don't listen to me, then I'm done with you. I don't want to help you. If Jimmy cared about the movement the way that people who wish that they had that type of a platform cared and would make that impact if they could.
Oh, I wish I had that platform.
Jimmy could do wonders for Dr. West if he really wanted to. But in his mind, it's do it my way or you don't get any help.
He's more about people kissing the ring. He really is. He likes people to kiss the ring.
And that's where a lot of people should be looking at Jimmy and saying, dude, you're wrong. This isn't the answer. Even if you're not getting everything you want with Dr. West, he's still running outside of the two-party system.
Like, nothing is good enough for them. Nothing is ever good. It just, this is why I really don't want to talk about him. I didn't even know we were talking about that.
Well, kudos to Dr. West for going on the show at the very least.
Well,
because at least his message gets out there to that audience over the course of 45 minutes or whatever it was. But
yeah, I just don't care about the show. There's
a reason why we don't talk about him, because he's not what you say very often is on the mission.
No, he's not on. He doesn't share my mission. Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.